Move the camera's center around the chair. Now, let's make a nice shot like this. The camera is capable of doing this and producing a video. What does this little part mean? Before we break it down, I want to take a render. I told you, you have modeling, you have materials, you have lights, and you have a camera. So, I want to do animation and rendering at the same time. Now I'm going to animate quickly. As you say, animation auto means this. So, you want this animation. This is the first position. You want it quickly. Anything like this is planned. This is not what we will take, of course, tomorrow. But, or something like this. Making an engine like this. This is a very small thing. If you make this grail, this is your animation. This is your animation. You've done the animation. This animation takes 3 hours to explain the basics of animation origins and process. This video needs review to understand the model, light, material, and camera origins. I want to export this scene as final. I'll press F10 for the render screen. 6 images or render the video. I want everything active. This segment means everything essential for rendering or exporting a file named 1. Let's choose AVI video type. This is about compression. I want the active time segment all 100 frames. Render or export as video. That's it. Where does animation come from? I'll press F10 for the render screen. 6 images or the video all at once? Everything active. This segment means everything. Essential things I'll use to render or export a file named 1. Choose AVI video type. No MP4. Compression ratio. Active time segment. All 100 frames. Image or video. Video. Export from the top right. From your camera viewport. Camera or background. Camera renders. Show me. Rendering now. Frame 0 takes time due to lighting. Deleting lighting speeds it up. Let's choose AVI for the video type. There's no MP4 option. This relates to compression. I want the active time segment, all 100 frames. Should I output an image or video? I chose video. Where to export from? From the top, right? Exporting from the camera viewport. Is it the camera or background? It's the camera for rendering. Show me. It's rendering now. Frame 0 is slow due to lighting. Removing lighting speeds it up. This is in frame 1. Rendering takes time in 3D. It's calculating light for 1 frame from the chair the camera sees. Removing 2 lights reduces time, but I want to show you this process for 100 frames. You're exporting from your camera viewport. Is it the camera or the background? It's the camera that will render. Show me. It should be rendering now. Frame 0 is slow due to lighting. Deleting lighting speeds it up. This is in frame 1. Rendering takes time in 3D due to complex light calculations. Deleting 2 lights reduces time, but I want to show you 1 frame and tell you it repeats 100 times. It's doing these calculations in frame 1 for 1 frame. Got it? Great. I'm waiting. And you need to wait too. I used to render and go outside. This was during my master's 7 years ago with old versions. All of this in 1 frame. The render is the thing that takes me the most time in 3D. All of this in frame 1. It makes complex calculations to see the light areas and comes out to 1 frame of the chair that the camera is seeing at this moment. If I remove 2 lights, the time will be reduced, but I want it in 1 frame. It will appear to you and tell you that it will do the process that it did. It will do it 100 times. It's doing this 100 times? Got it? Wait. This was 7 years ago with old versions? Someone might say, Dr. Abdul Rahman, explain rendering quickly? No, I still need to. Rendering takes time. See its calculations. I might render from the camera for something specific, or remove the light. I'd go out, run errands, and come back at night to find it finished after 7 hours, depending on what was in the scene. So someone might say, Dr. Abdul Rahman, explain rendering quickly and finish. No, I still need to explain rendering quickly. Look, rendering takes time. See how its calculations work. All of this is happening in real time, calculating and totaling, and I'm telling him to cancel it, man. I tell him to definitely cancel. It's giving me a severe headache. So, I might absolutely come to render from the camera, but I want something very specific to come out, or I might indeed remove the light. I can go to the light that's causing me problems in this scene and just take it out. Reduced light to speed up the process, but the overhead light is still an issue. All lights are off to show the material and lighting problem. I'll use camera 1. I'll update it above the old one. From the perspective, no, I'm taking it from camera 1. The same goes for the food and video file. I'll tell it to the river, it should say here above the old one. Look how quickly it appeared. Look at the material. This is material and this is reflection. If I had put reflection in it, it would mess up the scene. So I'll give you a slightly transparent background. The camera will run. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The chair is visible, showing scenes from the camera, and everything is moving. I started from the bottom, reached the 4 frames, and it created the reflection. The back acted like a mirror. Remember when you review the video, I chose a texture that made the back of the chair look. The important thing is that the moon will run. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The chair is in the mind, and scenes from the moon appear, and the world is walking. The legs of the chair began to move, little by little. The legs are all in the mind. It started from the bottom, so it reached the 4 films with me and made the back in the mirror. The back worked like a mirror. Don't I remember when they reviewed the video? When I told you to go for the reflection on the water surface, I chose a texture that made the back of the chair look like a mirror, slowing the render. If the back of the chair hadn't looked like a mirror, the render would have been smooth. The chair started to stabilize, and there's a little movement now, 7.5. Since the session is going to cut off soon, I want to thank you all for the session. I hope the sound is reaching you and the render is working. The video file is in the documents and render output. I'm stopping the render now and I'll cancel it. Thank you. The video ends here. This is the small video file I made for the render. The important thing is, since the session is going to cut off soon, I want to thank you all very much for the session, which is until 7 o'clock, but it's going to cut off shortly. So, I hope the sound is reaching you, and the render is working, and you can see it. And of course, where is the video file? You'll find it in a place, okay? It's in the documents and in 3D Max here. You'll find it in render output, render output, render output. Here in render output, here's the video file. I'm stopping the render now. And I'll hit stop. I'll cancel it and just keep this part of the render, and I'll say cancel. Thank you. And that's it. The video ends here. This is the small video file I made for the render, and I'll play it now, and that's it. We'll wrap it up for today. I'm just worried the session might cut off on us. I want to stop the recording and we'll meet tomorrow. Did you see that little movement? It was a very small movement. We'll meet tomorrow, God willing, to continue. Thank you all very much, and peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings.